Hi everyone, and welcome back to my garden. In today's episode, it's going to be how to save a tree from death by the hands of the gardener. I must admit, I truly neglected this common laurel, cherry laurel or English laurel, and I'm trying to save it from actually dying. For those of you that are new here, my name is Alina. I garden in East Europe, and we are similar to a zone 7A, 7B in the USDA zoning map. The coldest we got this winter was minus 15 Celsius degrees. And because, as you can see, I'm kind of pregnant, and because I did not know for sure where I wanted the laurel tree, I just moved it around my garden, did not water it properly, and yeah, kind of neglected it. So let's try to save it from my own hands because I totally am accountable for the state this laurel is in, and I think we can save it because I did do the test, the scratch test, to see if it still has some life in it. Let me show you how I do that scratch test, and let's try to put it in the ground. It's kind of a catch-all type of area where I want to plant it. I'm sure every gardener has that. Hopefully it's gonna survive. If it's not gonna survive, then so be it. So as you can see, the leaves are really crispy. They dried quite a bit, but if I were to scratch the main trunk, even if it's looking a little bit dried, we can see green underneath, which means that if I give it a good haircut, I can actually prompt it to put out new buds and new growth. So just to make life easier for me, I put the tree horizontally just because I don't want to stretch that much, and I'm gonna give it a nice haircut. I'll trim it back to about three buds on the main stems, and I'll try to take off all the small shoots from the sides as if I were to prune normal tree in early spring. But I'm hopeful because every cut I make I see green, and I think it's gonna be fine. It just needs a little bit of tidying up. I have to admit it's looking a little bit rough, but I tried my best to make the cut so that the last bud goes outwards to open up the canopy and to allow airflow in the middle. Now, the next step would be to water it properly. So I brought a bucket of water and we'll sink it into it until I dig my hole. I dug my hole. Now, normally I don't add any fertilizer to any of my plants when I'm planting them. I know a lot of gardeners do that, but they come from a nursery setting where they are so well fed and so well prepared to establish that I don't feel like me adding fertilizer helps them in any way. On the contrary, makes the plant think, oh, I have everything I need over here, I don't have to expand my roots, I don't have to do any effort to establish myself. That's a reasoning why I don't usually add any fertilizer to the plants I put in the soil. I also don't amend very often the soil because from the same reasoning, you want the plant to be resilient, to establish as soon as possible in the native soil, not to just be cozied up and then by the time the frost comes it's not fully developed. There are different schools of thought in this regard. Me personally, I choose to not fertilize except in this type of situation where this poor plant has been in its container for at least 6 months, because I bought it in autumn at a clearance sale, and I am going to fertilize inside the hole with fertilizer that's marketed as being very good for roots establishment. It's I think 432. Normally the first number has to do with leaves, the second with the roots, and the third with the flowers. That's how I remember them. The first one is nitrogen. It's good for having green stuff around, like for your lawn. Usually you use a fertilizer with high nitrogen ratio. If you want them to have strong roots, usually the second number is higher. And for annuals, the last number, because they put a lot of flowers, they do a lot of work when it comes to flowering, then the last number, the potassium, is the highest. Now this one is a 432, but for whatever reason they are saying it's great for strong roots, so I'm going to use this one. I'm just gonna, it's organic, I'm gonna put it in the hole generously, and I'll mix it over there a little bit so it's not straight onto the roots. And then what I will do, the water that's left from the soaking, I'll pour inside the hole. I will not plant it very deep because I want to add some more soil here to my raised bed. You guys, gardening works like this for me. I start with one project and I continue with another. I figured that since I brought all this beautiful soil here and I filled it up, what if I were to put some Verbascum as well? This I've grown from seed. It's a variety I started early January, and it's already hardened off. Looks a bit rough because it was super cramped in the tray that I used. Let's see how the roots are looking. I don't see much. They do have roots, but they're not root bound in any way. And I think these would be perfect for this area. I've grown them from seed. I can test them out as a first year trial. We'll see how this works. Hopefully they'll also keep me way more in check about watering the Laurel, because I'll come to check on the Verbascum, so hopefully that's gonna make me be way more attentive to this area. Here I had 2 seedlings, that's why I'm splitting them. Let's put one in the other side. Verbascum likes a sunny position, a well-draining spot, and not a lot of fertilizing. So I think it's gonna be a very good companion for the Laurel, and I think it's going to be very easy maintenance. I left the front part open because I might put some annuals in just to cover the edge of the wall a little bit during the summer. I also brought some mulch to cover everything so we don't let the soil sit open like this, and I'll give a good watering and I'll show you how everything looks afterwards. Everything looks great. I think this is gonna be my strategy for the next period of time. Pick a square meter, take care of it, and hopefully the Laurel will survive. Fingers crossed it's gonna be okay. Who knows, maybe we find some annuals to cover the edge of the wall, but overall I'm really happy with how things turned out. I think my workout for today is done. I took multiple trips to carry the extra soil on top. I really hope these measures will be enough to save the Laurel. We'll see. Stay tuned to see how it goes. If you have other suggestions, or if you know what I could have done differently, except for caring for the tree properly from the beginning, of course, then let me know in the comments section. Sorry if you heard a lot of noise because I live in the suburbia. There's a lot of construction going on, and a lot of people are working in their gardens, doing renovations and so on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will have a great day and enjoy just as lovely weather as we have here in East Europe. And thank you. Take care. Bye bye.